Guess who? Me again. All right, we're on to lesson 12.4. Gets a little tricky on this lesson, so you really got to pay attention or rewind the video if you don't understand something, because you're lucky and get to rewind me and then listen to it again. Follow along in your books. This will help. I am on page 715 in your Go Math workbooks. And we're going to be talking about intersecting lines. Now, in the other lessons, I explained to you what a ray was. Well, when two rays intersect, those are intersecting lines. It also creates angles. Right here we have 4 angles. One there, 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 and there. Okay? Those are intersecting lines. Perpendicular lines are intersecting lines that cross or meet to form right angles. So, let me see if I can do what they did. I'm going to do it a little bit smaller. These are all intersecting, but we've got 4 right angles. Okay? Here's where it gets a little bit tricky. This is an intersecting line, but it's not a perpendicular line because it does not create a right angle. And if you're thinking, well, they're not crossing, we have imaginary, this line is imaginarily, it's going to keep, I don't know, it's a word. It's going to keep going like this. Do, 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 do. And this one is going to keep going this way. Boop, 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 boop. Okay, and then they intersect. They're meeting here, but they're intersecting lines. Perpendicular lines are lines that will never touch. Okay? These lines, this one can keep going around and around and around, and this one around and around and around, and it's not going to touch. These are called parallel lines. Okay, so these are parallel lines. They're never going to touch. That's important to know. In this chapter, in this lesson, I should say, not chapter, you're going to be talking about parallel lines, perpendicular lines, and intersecting lines. Perpendicular, they need to make a right angle. So on page 716, on number 2, it has, you can look along. I'm going to try to draw. I'm horrible at drawing. This is why I'm not an art teacher. Okay. Has a shape that kind of looks like this. Okay. Now, this line and this line, if these keep going, they're going to be parallel. Right? And this line and this line, if I drew it correctly. Let's see if I have another. I threw away all my. Draw it better. I still didn't draw very good. Anyway. There we go. Second one I drew better. This one right here. You can also be looking in your books on 716 if you were actually following my directions. So I'm going to label the lines so you know which ones I'm talking about. A, B, C, and D. A and B are parallel. Okay? Because if I make this one extend and keep going and going and going and going and going and going, and this side keep going and going and going and going and going, it's not going to touch this line. All the way around the world, they're going to stay like this, parallel from each other. And if you're a gymnast, you've heard of parallel bars. They're like this, right? They don't ever touch. C and D are also parallel lines. They're going to continue to go, 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 and go, and go, 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 and they're not going to touch, okay? So that's parallel. Intersecting, triangles have intersecting lines because they're always going to touch. Now, you might say, well, why aren't they parallel? Well, because if I continued this line forever and ever and ever, it's eventually going to come around and touch the other line. Obviously these two are touching here and this one's touching here. Another example of that, a better example to show you of why it's not parallel, is if I drew a perpendicular line and intersecting. Okay, so here we go. So here, this is a right angle. It's supposed to be a right angle. Right there. That's supposed to be a right angle. I'll try to draw it right. All right, so that means that would be perpendicular because there's a right angle. Two lines meet, creating a right angle, perpendicular. If, because this slants this way, if I continued this line down, 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 and kept going further, 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 and then I continued the one right across from it, and go down, 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 way down here, they're going to meet, which means that's why they're not parallel. So squares and rectangles all have parallel lines. Okay. One is, believe it or not, one is a square, one's a rectangle. That's my square, that's my rectangle. So line A and B are parallel, and C and D are parallel. They also have perpendicular lines because they create right angles everywhere. Same with the square. This parallel line is parallel to that one. This is parallel to that one, and we have 4 right angles, which created perpendicular lines. On page 715 and 716, it has the definitions and then some examples for you to go over. And then on 717, it shows you shapes, and it says on number 8, which blocks, and they have a hexagon, a triangle, a quadrilateral, 2 quadrilaterals, 3 quadrilaterals, actually, a bunch of shapes. And they're asking you, which blocks have intersecting sides? Well, they all do. They are all going to intersect at some point. Then it says, which blocks have parallel sides? I don't know if I can draw it for you. Let me use the one without the answers. Hold on. There it is. Okay. So you see the hexagon. This side and this side are never going to touch if we make pretend lines go out. Those have parallel lines. And then also the opposite lines from here to here, we label these for you. We'll label them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay? So I can't now see. 1 and 4 are across from each other, so those are parallel. 2 and 5 are parallel, and 3 and 6 are parallel. So look in your books and look at that, and you can see that they're parallel across from each other. Let's see, they wanted all the parallel ones. I believe we've got, obviously, C is parallel, because that's the one I just showed you. These two are parallel from each other, and these two will never touch if they keep going. And square is always parallel. So E is. And D doesn't have 2 sets of parallel lines. It doesn't ask if it has 2 sets. It's asking if anybody has a pair. And D does have a pair of parallel lines. Not more than 1 pair, because like the other ones did. And I'll show you why, because I'll draw a bigger picture. Okay? I'll label them. 1 and 2 are parallel. If this line kept going this way and this line kept going this way, they're not going to touch. But like I showed you before, this line and this line are not parallel, because if I keep going down, I'm trying to do this backwards, go down, 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 and this line keeps going straight, 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 it's going to meet up here and it's going to intersect. So I hope that explains a little bit. Again, we're going to be going over this on Tuesday Zoom, and again on Thursdays before you take the mid-chapter checkpoint with me on Thursday. And your homework is to do all of page 12.4, which is page 719, 718, And then 721 and 722 is your mid-chapter checkpoint. Rewind, do your best, look through the book, look at the shapes. Any teacher can teach you this because it's mostly vocabulary. It's just vocabulary, guys. It's not scary. It's just stuff you have to understand the vocab, and the vocab is given to you many places. You have these little vocab cards that was in your book, and on every page that I said on the video has the vocab. Again, it's highlighted, it gives you the definition, and it gives you an example, and it shows you it. So don't be nervous or think this is overwhelming. Take it one step at a time and you'll be fine. And again, if you don't understand it, we will go over it in our Zoom meeting. So please bring your books to your Zoom meeting. If you do not have your book, then there's no really a need for you to come because you're not going to be able to understand what we're doing. If you have a question that you want to ask, you're more than welcome to join in to ask, or email me, or set up your own Zoom meeting with me. Have a great week, and I will talk to you soon. Bye, guys.